It started with a weird stillness in the air. You know the kind of silence where even the palm trees stop swaying? That was the moment I knew something was wrong. We were at this beautiful beach resort in Mexico, me, my partner, and a couple of our close friends. First proper vacation in what felt like forever. We'd been counting down the days for months, planning excursions, saving up, all that. And for the first few days, absolute paradise. Turquoise water, fish tacos on the beach, that buzz in your chest when you're finally out of the routine. I even turned off email notifications. I never do that. Then the weather app started acting shady. Suddenly, instead of partly cloudy, we're seeing severe tropical storm warning in angry red text. At first, we laughed it off. I mean, weather exaggerates sometimes, right? Except the next morning, the hotel staff started taping windows. You could feel the mood shift, people whispering, checking their phones every 10 seconds. Then came the knock on our door. Mandatory evacuation. Not optional. Not let's see how it goes. They were moving guests to an inland shelter 2 hours away. I remember grabbing our stuff in a panic, wet swimsuits still hanging on the balcony, half-drunk cocktails on the table. We shoved everything into backpacks and duffels and got onto this old, crowded bus that smelled like mildew and stress. What followed wasn't exactly traumatic, but it was the opposite of vacation. The shelter was safe but bare bones. No real food, barely any cell reception, everyone kind of stunned. And that's when it hit me. We were going to lose out on the second half of our trip, the hotel nights, the boat tour we'd prepaid, everything. Thousands of dollars just gone. My friends were furious, like trying to call the hotel angry. One of them even said, "This is why I never travel. It's always something." I felt that knot in my stomach too. But then I remembered something. This sounds so cheesy, but I'd actually bought travel insurance for once. From a site called auras.insure. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but I'd heard a horror story from a coworker who'd gotten stuck in Thailand during a monsoon, and I didn't want to risk it. So yeah, I clicked a couple buttons a few days before the trip. Barely thought about it. Now, that little decision saved me. I pulled up the confirmation email right there on my phone. The signal was weak, but it loaded. Turns out the plan covered weather evacuations, unused accommodations, and even interrupted activities. I filed the claim once we got back, took maybe 20 minutes, and within a week, they reimbursed everything. The hotel nights, the tour, even a portion of the flights, since we had to change the return date. Meanwhile, our friends? No insurance. They got stuck fighting with the resort over email for weeks. One of them said the hotel offered a 15% voucher, which felt like salt in the wound. The whole thing made me realize how fragile plans are when you're traveling. You can book everything perfectly, read reviews, pick the best week for weather. But nature doesn't care. And that's the tip I'd give anyone now. If you're spending hundreds or thousands on a trip, just set aside a tiny fraction for insurance. Not the check this box at checkout kind that nobody reads. Actually look into a solid policy. Something that covers you if stuff really hits the fan. For me, that was auras.insure. It wasn't flashy, just simple, clear, and way cheaper than I expected. They had all the big providers in one place, so I could compare and pick what fit the trip. Now it's just part of my travel checklist, passport, charger, travel insurance. I don't usually plug stuff, but I'll drop the link in the description in case you want to check it out. Totally up to you. I just know I won't ever travel again without it. Because that trip, it still ended up being memorable. Not for the beaches, but for what could have gone so much worse. And the one tiny decision that saved it.